Okay, this will be something else. I made an Aftermath 1.5 reference guide. This is a work in progress. So first is the readme first, then there is an introduction. I think you can read it. This is in Notepad++. So it's a first it says how it is structured in a campaign and sessions, missions. Drop in, drop out. The gameplay is in short. The focus is on the player location marker on Abigail, and this is what was missing in the rulebook. Now, start here. This is in case you well, how to start if depending on if what you encounter. If it is a new book or new box from the shop, you got an unpunched, unorganized game. So consult the leaflet on setting up everything. If you buy it second-hand, which I recommend, then it comes with unpainted heroes in a ziploc, so consider the deluxeification. That is a box insert plus painting the minis. Because otherwise, well, they come in a giant ziploc, and that is bad for minis. And after that you've checked, the campaign starts. Now, so you can skip this normally. This is going to be a colored hyperlinked PDF, of course, with some optionally some cool background art. New campaign, new session, then victory conditions. Victory conditions should be as close to the top as possible in modern board game rule books. Then winning the game, for you need to have 4 characters, personal goals, so it's like in Zarivia. Then it is recommended to note on a separate sheet of paper whenever the personal goal was achieved, because once achieved, it's water under the bridge. But you will forget or be unsure what you did a few months later. There is on BoardGameGeek some kind of crappy campaign tracker, so it's a PDF page that you can print, and I haven't tried it out. But personal goals should be centralized, so you can tick them in a tick box fashion for every campaign completion. But you can also lose the campaign, so that's here. When you lose the game, you unlock infinite lives mode. Then the gameplay goals, how to play solo, that was in the rules as well. Example, this is from the BoardGameGeek errata. I'm not sure if I can remove it, but I decided to glue together the improved 1.4 rules that were available on BoardGameGeek, and then all the questions on BoardGameGeek and Reddit, and some other parts. I included at least these, and also the errata from Aftermath. Now, how to save the game, how to resume play, and a replay after completing the campaign. So I assume that you can that you, if you put in so much effort to make the rulebook and to paint the minis and to make an insert, that all should have been there in the first place, that you want to replay the campaign. So here are some pointers to replay the campaign. They are not in any documentation whatsoever, so I put them there. Resetting the game, components, very important but missing in most rulebooks is how to distinguish each component. Tuck box is assumed to be known. Initially empty, big things, and regular size cards. Now the regular size cards, I use paper bands, just leftovers from my dark PNP days. So it's these strips and some scotch tape, and I write on them at least a preliminary organization. So there are 47 discovery deck cards, but 4 of these are no, they are 47. Okay, so the influence cards, they have an image of the character on it instead of the generic mice. That was on Board Game Geek, I think. It's helpful. This enemy vehicle, smaller sized cards. Then the item cards, 6 types, discernible by title, pink, blue, yellow. This is a mistake from the developer. Turquoise and yellow, too many yellow here, but then action cards, they have a red-white tablecloth pattern with a smudged effect on their backs, so you don't. Your first impression is I got the game from heavy smokers, but it's actually part of the design. And there are 41 instead of the 37, but the 37 are the basics, and the 4 cards difference is the 4 starting basic action, starting influence cards actually. And that is what I say here. 17 status cards, small cards with front headers like rattled, badly hurt, etc. It is 4 times 4 plus 1 for marked. That will be explained later. 22 enemy cards. The front shows a picture of the enemy on the left and the stats on the right. So how you can quickly use the this list to separate the cards in an ambiguous fashion. Really small tokens, party location marker, 3 mice and a green background. There are images, but you have to look up in the official rulebook. So I just wrote it out. Scavenge tokens, gray square, tokens with a magnifying glass and a number on one side and a bonus on the back. For objective tokens, etc. So I explained more or less everything. 14 plastic baggies. Then the card anatomy should always follow the victory conditions at least, and box components. What is a card anatomy? It's how to read a card. So for character cards, it's different than for enemy cards. As you can see, this is not yet perfect. So whenever you see a card, then you can read it by consulting this reference guide. Then the icons on the map pages, the campaign dashboard, how it looks like, what it is all there, but not if you're new to the game. Key, wheel, cheese wedge, mouse face with a dot next to it, and thumb up. It looks like obvious here, but it's certainly not obvious when you're in the middle of the thing. These attributes, this is a BGG question, it's not entirely correct. Game round. You start by selecting a main mission or side mission, unless you had already a main and a side mission. Read the mission front and back. This is missing in the rulebook, but I did use it from gaming the game, and I think it makes a lot of sense. Then putting your miniatures on the page as well as all the components. Then you have the player phase and enemy phase, and if the situation is safe nesting, upon leaving the page, see leaving the page. Upon end of mission, see mission end steps. These are also missing in the rulebook, at least not where you expect them to have. So you can follow this until you are done. And we have clear pointers because this will be a hyperlink to leaving the page. Now, character phase, written out, calamity step, enemy phase. Enemy phase is, aside from the typos, it's also wrong described in the official rulebook, as well as in the 1.4 rulebook. You only activate enemies if they have a threat card under it. Then so, to activate an enemy, do the following in action, determine action, and then target. And what the rules do wrong is they move and then they target. But you can't move towards a target if you haven't targeted it. So you first target. And it was also missing in the Aftermath enhanced rulebook. So I corrected it here. Then resolving enemy attack, discard, and then the page topology. That is, of course, everything that you find on the tactical grid. I